There's a few aspects to what it means to collapse time. So one component around this is, so let's say I'm working with a leader and they have a really expansive vision for humanity. Yesterday, for instance, I was working with a leader and he was calling in $1 billion. He was calling it in, to literally come in with it. And it wasn't really relevant whether or not it comes in within a month. What's relevant is the new human being that gets to emerge.
Explain to us a little bit more about collapsing of timelines?
So there's a few aspects to what it means to collapse time. So one component around this is, so let's say I'm working with a leader and they have a really expansive vision for humanity, right? Yesterday, for instance, I was working with a leader who, he's a spiritual leader, but he's also stepping into a new dimension of what he's here to create, including financially the resources that it takes to be able to bring that about. And he was calling in $1 billion. He was calling it in, to literally come in within a month. And it wasn't really relevant whether or not it comes in within a month. What's relevant is the new human being that gets to emerge as we move through all of the spaces which have been out of alignment with him already being that, right? So one of them, for instance, would be just the relationship that his family had to money growing up, and then the way that would be a paradigm around wealth, which was based on hard work, which is a very often paradigm that we've all, most of us have at some point in time adopted as a badge of, we have to work hard. It might not be about money, but often the hard work paradigm then flows into the way we create our wealth, right? So we're experiencing as it is. And as we experience that belief as it is within our cellular body, it creates the space for that belief to dissolve, because energy cannot die, it only transmutes, right? And so the more you experience your experience, the more it creates the space for the transmutation of what, and the deeper it comes back. So let's imagine that belief that is hard is not even yours. You may have taken it on through conditioning of your parents or society or what have you, but let's say it actually goes back multiple generations. If that's the case, we then want to tune into the sound that matches onto the experience of that, so we can honor that energy from all times and dimensions. So what I'm doing is I'm connecting in with all time and dimension where that sound comes from to transmute that energy where it locates, so that we can create an even bigger reaction on the opposite side in terms of what wants to move through you and what awarenesses want to emerge from that space, right? So people talk about the idea, if you're not collapsing hours into days, you're collapsing generations into hours. So if you imagine you have all these different subconscious beliefs, all these different recurring thoughts, all these different fears, concerns as human beings, and we bundle them up and we express each one, time slice. And then as you experience each one until you get to a point where it no longer lives within the energetic system, to the point where people are like, I don't even remember that thing. It's like having a pain in the body. It's like, was that a pain there? I've had people who go like, okay, I had this pain of childbirth. We come back into that. And then 5 minutes later, it's like, can't even remember the pain of childbirth, right? Because we've experienced such a deep transmutation of what was there that doesn't even feel like it's in the cells anymore, right?
So not feeling bodily pain that could have, that lived in your memory system.
Not just, lived in the memory system. So it's shifting what's going on, not just within the cells, but then also the response within the brain in terms of how it's understanding what's happening at this DNA level. So that's why I talk about it as a neuroresonance optimization, not just the resonance, because it's also impacting what's happening at this, the level of neuroscience, right? And I've talked to a lot of neuroscientists about this to understand more, because I'm not a neuroscientist, but I'm a very, very curious human being. So when I talk to them, I'd be like, okay, well, how would you articulate what's going on? And different ones would have different ways of explaining. So like some of the activations or transmissions in Resonance OS, they'll say, well, what's happening here is you're bypassing the prefrontal cortex. So it's switching off the logical mind within the space of that 15 minutes, and you're taking them through an emotional journey by hitting the emotional centers of the brain. Then you're creating safety in the autonomic nervous system, and then you're bypassing the cortical, which is this, basically the control mechanism, which creates surrender. And so as a consequence of that, you see a collapsing of time there, because what happens in 15 minutes, could feel like it's actually an hour, because the depth of what you've experienced in that time is actually taking you through all these different times and dimensions. And then we've collapsed it into this, right, from a space of safety. And you're now coming out like, holy fuck, where am I? Who am I? Whatever I thought I knew. And then often people are in this space of freedom as a conduit of all of that.